After being cooped up at home, many of us are heading to the beach towns around the country and the lakes and the oceans for some summer sun. But businesses that were eager for crowds are now struggling. They're overwhelmed by worker shortages. ABC's Deirdre Bolton has more.
Under the morning July sun, on the heels of a worldwide lockdown, millions are flocking to the beach. But with all that pent-up demand, there is a downside. Businesses are overwhelmed.
It's been different. I've seen things I've never thought I would see in my life.
We are facing a worker shortage in every industry.
If you talk to any of the businesses in downtown Rehoboth or any of the beach areas, they're in the exact same scenario. They don't have the help.
Benjamin Gray has called this stretch along the Atlantic home his entire life. Working at the Belmore Inn and Spa in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware for the last 7 years, nothing compares to the stress he sees this summer.
We've seen unprecedented occupancy levels. The tourism industry in the past year alone has skyrocketed.
What has it been like then for you to meet that demand?
It's now finding the staff to be able to make the beds, to make the drinks, to check people in, to check people out, to make sure that we have enough people here to take care of the occupancy levels that we're experiencing. Typically for this hotel, we have anywhere from 90 to 100 employees on a regular basis.
And this summer?
Currently right now I have approximately 25 open positions. So we're looking at around 75 associates to get us through the busiest summer that we've ever seen.
Only halfway through the busy season, Benjamin is desperate to fill those empty positions.
The issue that's happening is that people aren't coming through the door to apply for the jobs or to show up for their interview.
People, they make an interview appointment and then they just don't show up?
Correct. The last 2 weeks alone, I had 16 no-shows to interviews.
16 no-shows? Out of how many appointments?
We had 30 appointments, and out of those 30 people, we had 10 show up.
That's crazy.
It is.
Hotels, restaurants, and other businesses that survived the pandemic are now facing a new challenge, struggling to find and hire the employees they need. Job openings in the U.S. have soared, with more than 9 million positions available. In places like Rehoboth Beach, which sees 4 million visitors during the June, July, and August peak, the struggle to find workers is everywhere.
If you drive down Coastal Highway, which is the primary highway that'll get you to every single beach in the state of Delaware, you'll notice everybody that has a marquee will say now hiring. And their wages range anywhere from $13 an hour all the way to $22 an hour, with also a signing bonus that they're willing to give you $1,000 to come into the door.
While some potential workers are juggling childcare issues, others remain concerned about COVID infection risks. And many states, like Delaware, are still offering extended unemployment benefits through the end of August. Employees here are also feeling the pressure.
Last year, I was working sections that had maybe like 4 or 5 tables. Now I'm working a section that's got 5 to 8, and it's not just like an outside section, it's outside and inside.
Just a block in from the beach in one of the busiest parts of the boardwalk sits Dolly's CANDYLAND. It's been in Tom IBACH's family for almost 100 years. The third-generation maker of sweets now heads to his shop at 5:30 in the morning to start pulling that famous saltwater taffy. He used to employ 25 to 30 people. Now he makes it alone.
Are your hours different?
Yeah, they're much different than they used to be. I'm like usually 12 to 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, I used to work maybe somewhere between 9 and 11. So I've increased the hours, quite a bit. But we've got to make the business run, okay? And that's simple as that.
2 blocks down the boardwalk, you can find FUNLAND, where another longtime family-owned business is feeling many of the same stresses.
We have more people than any of those previous 60 summers, but we just don't quite have the staff to be able to accommodate them.
Instead, FUNLAND alums have stepped up. Veronica Evans saw a Facebook post about employees needed and answered the call.
Step right up. There's a group called FUNLAND employees, past and present. One of the family members had posted, "Hey alumni, we've been seeing you liking our post about needing employees. Basically, we're going to call you on your bluff." I said, "Seriously, you'll take a 47-year-old?" And they said, "We're willing to be super flexible." All right, guys, here we go. I worked here the one summer when I was 16, and I absolutely loved it.
Veronica worked at FUNLAND after her sophomore year of high school in 1990 and thought helping this summer would be, well, kind of fun.
So I've worked the rides, I've worked the games, I've done the tickets, and just kind of whatever they need me to do.
Even though Veronica was willing to go back, there just aren't enough workers like her.
As we go through the month of August, we're going to have to selectively close games and rides. Because we just won't have the staff to run them. And so we certainly will ask our customers to be patient, and we will do the best we can. We certainly want to accommodate as many of our customers as possible, but there's a limit to what you can do.
That seems to be the mantra here. There is a limit to what a business owner can do. Unlike workers, thankfully, optimism for the future is plentiful.
I think there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to keep working through it. In the long run, everything will work out. It's just going to be a little bit tough for now.
All that saltwater taffy that he's got to make himself. Deirdre's joining us now for more on this. Deirdre, that was both interesting and fun. Let's talk about the interesting part. These businesses eager for crowds, as your story demonstrates, for so long. Now they just don't have the help to keep up with them. And now the Delta variant spreading across the country. Cases are increasing. So is there a chance that these crowds are going to go down anyway? What do you think?
Terry, what a bitter irony, right? This was supposed to be all of these businesses make up summer after last year. To your point with the Delta variant spreading, it's unclear as to what that in particular will have as an effect on those businesses. So what I will say is, as you saw, most of those businesses, if not all, have an outdoor presence. Even the hotels have outdoor dining, outdoor bars. Each of the staff members who were inside, had any kind of inside role, were certainly wearing masks, even if all of the patrons weren't. So there is definitely an awareness from the business's point of view. As for whether or not that's going to keep customers away, I think what's difficult for these businesses is really this timing crunch. I mean, they have June, July, and August to make their money. So if there is more fear with the Delta variant, that really hits them hard in August. Also, triple whammy, at the same time that they are losing any kind of teen labor to get ready for high school, or college workers who in sometimes many states, they need to leave basically next week, Terry.
Or workers from overseas. There have been places where people come in from overseas, teenagers, young people, to do work in American beach towns. We heard in your piece, job openings in the U.S. have soared. Why aren't people showing up for their interviews and taking these jobs?
Any single person I've spoken with, Terry, on the subject says there is not one reason, multi-reason. So a lot of young mothers with young children, there is still no really clear childcare solution, if you like, especially before school starts. There are people who are concerned, even before the Delta variant spread, about the virus, even if it's not for themselves. They may live with somebody who is immunocompromised. And then there's this very politicized language around the unemployment benefits. Delaware is one state that does allow the extension of unemployment benefits through the end of August. That is another factor. And then you referenced this J-1 visa. I mean, what a wonderful program for all of these businesses and for foreign students. They used to be able to come here, so 4-month visa, they would work for 3, travel for 1. And that was also a COVID bureaucracy bad side effect in that all the embassies closed, so workers from all over the world really couldn't apply because the embassies were closed and nobody could process the paperwork. So as in all things, Terry, not one simple, clear reason, but the conclusion is simple in that there aren't enough workers.
So one argument goes, why not just pay people more? Why don't companies and these businesses pay people more? Obviously, there is a business reason for that, but McDonald's raised its pay for workers by an average about 10% back in May. Its CEO said that was a big reason it was able to get back to normal staffing levels. Can other businesses follow suit, do you think?
They are certainly trying. I'm not kidding you. I walked by every single storefront. There was some form of help wanted. There are even signs that say $1,000 signing bonus if you stay through Labor Day. I mean, it's not for lack of trying. An interesting macro trend that I've just been following is that teen labor has really been decreasing actually every year since 1978, with just a few exceptions in there. And so a lot of people are saying with the college process so much more competitive, that a lot of parents who are in a position to tell their kids to stay home and study for SATs or do volunteer work, that in the past few decades, that's really been the push. And so in many ways, there was almost a natural part of the labor market, the summer labor workforce, that had been by choice sidelined. Terry.
That's fascinating, because back in the day when tuition was not sky high, you could make a dent in it with a summer paycheck. Now it's hopeless with what's happened. Fascinating. ABC News business correspondent Deirdre Bolton, thanks for that story and for helping us out.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.